Hello, Mark Dempsey here once again. Now it's time to really look into the inner workings of America. What exactly is going on in America? These are the stories that you'll never read about in the newspaper or see on a website or hear about on the radio or even see on television. The only way that you're going to find out these stories is by listening to my broadcast right here. And on top of that, they're free. So what is there not to like? You know, today we're going to be talking about the great state of Louisiana. And since Katrina, there's been quite a concern about the kids in Louisiana being educated. Are these kids in Louisiana, especially New Orleans, are they being educated properly? What exactly is going on there? So I decided to do a little snooping around, and I decided to log on to the Department of Education's website. And there are lots of great graphs on that website and pictures to lead anyone to believe that things are just hunky-dory there in Louisiana. Not there's no problems at all. Well, I came across a link called Business, and it's at the top right-hand side corner of the website. And I clicked on it. And on that particular web page, there's quite a bit of information about how businesses can support schools through job shadowing and other programs like that. And I thought that was very, very interesting. So I decided to find out more about the program. And I decided to give the Department of Education a call via their toll-free number, which is listed in big letters there, or big numbers rather, right on the website. So I call the Department of Education. I say, hey, I'm Mark Dempsey. Listen, I'd just like to find out a little bit more about your business program, the one that's on your website in big white letters. And then the receptionist became very quiet. There was not a sound to be heard. There was not a peep, nothing. And then she said, you know what? I really don't know anything about that. I'm going to transfer you to somebody that can talk to you about it. Well, that was pretty efficient. I was pretty impressed. So that's exactly what she did. She transferred me to a very nice young lady, and then I told her exactly who I was and the information that I needed. And once again, I got that silence, that dead silence. And she said, you know what, Mark? I don't know anything about that. And by the way, I get a lot of calls throughout the day from people about subjects that I just don't know much about. I guess they just transfer me here because I'm a good talker. That's what she told me, because she was a good talker. Well, she said, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to transfer you to the superintendent's office. And I said, wow, that's great news, because I just know the superintendent's going to know. I mean, his assistant's definitely going to know about this program, because you see, it's on their main web page and it's in big white letters and it says business. I mean, how could anyone possibly miss it? So I'm transferred to the superintendent's office, and I tell the woman there exactly who I am and the information that I'm looking for. And once again, there was that dead silence, that eerie silence. Just sat there, couldn't hear anything for a few moments. And then she told me, she said, Mark, I really don't know anything about that. I don't know anything about that at all. I said, really? She said, well, let me transfer you to public affairs. And I said, okay, well, certainly. Now, here are the people in public affairs. They deal with the public. Certainly, someone's going to know about this program that's on the Department of Education's website. It's in big white letters, and it says business. So she transfers me to public affairs. And then the person that answers the phone, I tell them who I am, what I'm interested in, and all of a sudden there was that big silence again. That big silence. Not even a pin drop. I couldn't hear anything. It just nothing. And he says to me, he says, after some pause, I mean, he seemed kind of dazed and confused. We just really weren't connecting. I mean, you know, I was like, and so he said, hang on a second. And then I was on hold for some time. And he comes back and he says, Mark, I just don't know anything about that program. And I said, well, do you have anyone heading it up? And he said, well, I think we do, but we just had a reorganization here, and I'm just really not sure who to transfer you to. I said, really? Okay. I said, you know, it's that in big white letters on your website, right? He said, he didn't know. So he said, well, what's your number? And I'll have someone call you back. So I gave him my phone number. And to this day, days later, no one ever called me back. No one called me back from the public affairs office. Now, what does this say about the Department of Education in Louisiana? Nothing good. You see, 4 people were involved in this conversation that I talked to, and every single one of them knew nothing about this program. It tells me that in the Department of Education, Louisiana, people are not good communicators. They don't know what's going on. They are not well informed, and these are the people charged in educating the children of Louisiana. You have got to be kidding me. If they can't answer a simple question, and this wasn't something, arcane or obscure or something like that. This was on their website in big white letters, and no one knows anything about it? Well, my goodness, what exactly is going on there? I mean, is everyone just like, drinking during the day or what? I don't know what's going on there. So anyway, it was very, very revealing. And you can really tell the character about an institution just by calling them up. You don't need a big news service. You don't need CBS to do some investigative report. All you got to do is call them up. Call them up and ask them some simple questions, and you will realize very, very quickly who you are dealing with. You will realize the competency of the people that you are dealing with, just as I did in the state of Louisiana at the Department of Education. So I thought you'd be very interested in this story, a behind-the-scenes look at what really goes on in the state of Louisiana. A state that is vying for federal dollars, a state that is supported by state tax dollars. Are they really getting their money's worth? I certainly hope so. Not for the employees' sake, but for the kids' sake. My name is Mark Dempsey. I'm an author and journalist, and if you'd like to email me, you certainly can with your questions and concerns. I get quite a few emails during the day. My email address is markd112@yahoo.com, markd112@yahoo.com. And if anyone at the Department of Education in Louisiana knows who heads up the business program, please let me know. I'd really appreciate it. And thanks so much for listening. Take care.